Protein is kicking you out of ketosis. That's what the internet says. But the internet also says celery juice can fix your childhood trauma. So let's talk. By the end of this video, you'll understand what too much protein actually means, when it can matter, when it's basically a myth, and how to set your personal protein target in the next 5 minutes without living in fear of a chicken thigh. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Dr. Tony Hampton, board certified family and obesity medicine doc with a master's in nutrition and functional medicine. And I'm making this because protein panic is one of the biggest reasons people stall on keto, feel awful, lose muscle, and then blame the diet when the real issue is a misunderstanding. Before we jump in, drop a comment. Are you low carb, keto, or carnivore like me? And stay with me, because near the end I'm going to bust the biggest myth behind too much protein and explain what's usually happening instead, especially if your weight loss stalled or your ketones dropped. Let's start with the core truth. Most people don't have a too much protein problem. They have a too much confusion problem. Keto was never meant to be high fat, low protein. Keto is low carb, adequate protein, and fat to satiety. The word adequate is where the magic is, because protein is not a side character. Protein is the construction crew. It's muscle, hormones, enzymes, neurotransmitters, immune function. It's the reason you can stand up from a couch without making a sound like a haunted door hinge. So why do so many people fear protein? Because of one of the scariest sounding concepts, gluconeogenesis. People hear protein turns into sugar and they think protein equals carbs. Gluconeogenesis is normal. Your body can make glucose when it needs it, especially for tissues that require some glucose. But here's the key. It's mostly demand driven. Your body does not automatically convert extra protein into glucose just to sabotage your life. It's regulated. Now, does protein raise insulin? Yes, a little. But insulin isn't the villain. Insulin is a tool. You need insulin to build muscle, repair tissue, and function as a human. The problem is chronically high insulin, especially from ultra-processed foods, frequent high-carb intake, poor sleep, chronic stress, and insulin resistance. That's the root cause lens. So when people say too much protein, they're usually talking about one of three situations. Let's walk through each one like a good medical visit. History first, then diagnosis, then a plan. Situation number one. My weight loss stalled, so protein must be the reason. This is the most common one. And most of the time, protein isn't the problem. Protein is usually the solution. Protein increases satiety. Protein helps you preserve lean mass. And lean mass is metabolically expensive tissue, meaning it helps you burn more at rest. If you lose muscle, your metabolism doesn't just slow down. It gets a pay cut. And then you're eating less, white-knuckling cravings, and wondering why your body is acting like it's preparing for hibernation. Now, could protein contribute to a stall in certain scenarios? Yes, but not because protein is bad. It's usually because people are combining high protein with high fat and not moving much. In other words, they're eating a lot of energy. Keto changes hormones, but energy still matters, especially over time. Here's the practical truth. Many stalls blamed on protein are actually added fat stalls. If you're hitting adequate protein, staying low carb, and then pouring oils, butter, heavy cream, fat bombs, and keto desserts on top, your body may not need to burn stored body fat because you're feeding it plenty of dietary fat. And I'm not saying fat is bad. I'm saying fat is powerful. A tablespoon of butter is not a small decision. That's a concentrated energy source. If your goal is fat loss, you want your body to burn your fat, not only the fat you drink, drizzle, and dunk. Situation number two. My ketone meter dropped after protein. This one is so common, it deserves a moment of silence. Because some of you are checking ketones like they're the stock market, and every dip feels like a personal attack. Here's what's real. Ketones are a fuel marker, not a morality score, not a report card, not a sign you've been good or bad. If you eat protein and your insulin rises slightly, ketone production can temporarily decrease. Also, if your body is efficiently using ketones, your blood ketone reading may be lower. That does not automatically mean you're kicked out of ketosis. If you're still low carb, still not spiking glucose, still seeing benefits, still losing inches, still feeling steady energy, you may be doing great, even if your ketone number isn't dramatic. Some people get obsessed with deeper ketosis, when what they actually want is better metabolic health. Situation number three. I heard protein is bad for kidneys or longevity. This needs nuance. In people with normal kidney function, higher protein intake is not automatically harmful. But if you have chronic kidney disease, especially advanced stages, protein targets may need to be individualized based on staging, labs, and your clinical situation. So yes, personalize it, but don't turn a kidney conversation meant for kidney disease into fear-based advice for healthy people. Now, let's answer the question everybody wants answered. So what is too much protein on keto? It's not one number. It depends on your body size, insulin sensitivity, activity level, age, goals, and what else you're eating. But I can give you a very practical framework that works for most people. Step 1, set protein first. Step 2, keep carbs low. Step 3, use fat to reach satiety, don't force it. Protein first, because if you don't set a protein floor, keto turns into fat fasting with vibes. A common clinical range for adults aiming for fat loss while preserving muscle is roughly 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram per day, often based on goal body weight or lean mass. More if you're strength training, more if you're older and trying to preserve muscle, less if you're very small framed and sedentary. And if you don't want to do math, here's a no calculator method. Eat a palm-sized portion of protein 2 to 4 times per day. 2 times if you're smaller and not very active. 3 times for most people. 4 times if you're tall, very active, or lifting weights. And choose real protein, meat, fish, eggs, poultry, whole foods. Now, here are the red flags that your protein may be too high for your current setup. You're eating very high protein and very high fat. You're not active. You're constantly hungry despite eating a lot. Your blood sugar trends upward if you track it. You're chasing ketone numbers instead of results. If that's you, the first move is usually not to cut protein aggressively. The first move is often to stop stacking extra fat on top of adequate protein. Translation: keep protein steady. Stay low carb. Reduce added fats for a couple of weeks. Let your body assess stored fat. And this is a good time for a quick mid-video reminder. If you want more content that explains metabolic health without fear, confusion, or one weird trick nonsense, like the video and subscribe. Now let's talk about the biggest myth behind too much protein. The myth is protein turns into sugar and stops fat burning. Here's the reality. Your body can make glucose when it needs it, but it doesn't do it excessively just because you ate protein. And if your keto results are stalling, the deeper root causes are usually one of these: hidden carbs in things like sauces, dressings, keto snacks, or sweeteners, liquid calories, coffee add-ins count even if they feel emotionally necessary, poor sleep raising cortisol and appetite, chronic stress raising glucose and cravings, under-eating protein, losing muscle and slowing metabolism, not enough resistance training, or simply too much energy intake over time, even on keto. Protein gets blamed because it's visible, but the real culprit is usually something sneaky, frequent, or stress-related. So here's your simple 7 to 14 day experiment. Keep carbs consistently low, hit your protein target daily, reduce added fat slightly if fat loss is the goal, prioritize sleep like it's a prescription, add 2 short strength sessions per week, even 15 minutes, and track outcomes that matter: hunger, energy, cravings, waist measurement, how your clothes fit. Because the goal isn't to win a ketone contest. The goal is to build a metabolism that's stable, resilient, and not controlled by cravings like a toddler holding your car keys. Protect your muscles, protect your metabolism, and please, 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 stop being afraid of the one macronutrient that's literally holding you together: